Oh man. Oh man, oh man. Not again. Yeah.
Hey guys, I'm Travis,
Andrew.
and welcome to Sports Fan Network. Well, today there's been some big news in the NFL. Goodell's mighty hammer has come down hard on the Dallas Cowboys as they have handed Ezekiel Elliot a 6-game suspension.
Yeah, this is huge for the Cowboys. Obviously, I personally wasn't expecting, this amount of games for Ezekiel Elliott. I was expecting maybe 1 or 2 games under the personal conduct policy.
Yeah.
But obviously, in their investigation, they found enough evidence to go forward with a domestic violence case against Ezekiel Elliott. So, because of domestic violence, with previous incidents with Ray Rice, Andrew Peterson, it's now 6 games automatically for a domestic violence case, no matter what. So that's what they're going with, and obviously Ezekiel Elliott will appeal the suspension. We'll see how that goes, but for now it's 6 games, and how is this going to affect the Cowboys?
This is huge. I mean, Ezekiel Elliott, he's their big running back, he's their workhorse, and without him, I mean, they're just not the same offense, and like you said, I was really expecting either no suspension or 1 to 3 game suspension, but 6? I mean, this is just really bad. I mean, it looks bad for Roger Goodell, considering, this investigation took over a year, and now to hand him 6 games, there was a lot of reports, that there wasn't enough evidence to prove he did it, and then I guess, Ezekiel Elliott's attorney said, hey, the NFL kind of cherry-picked what they took out of the investigation. They're kind of making, an example of Zeke, which is really sad because, he's a player that, the NFL should build him up and people want to look up to. And now it's kind of, going to ruin his reputation. Now, obviously, if he did it, there's no room for that. But just the overall investigation, he got cleared by, the courts that he didn't do it. So this kind of sounds like a power move from Roger Goodell.
Yeah, it does in a way. I mean, obviously, we don't know exactly what they did with the investigation, what exact evidence they found. So there could be evidence that does suggest that he did have a domestic violence case. With the information I know, Ezekiel Elliott has other off-the-field issues. So it could be that they're trying to set an example for him, trying to, set him straight, so to speak.
Yeah.
Which I don't necessarily agree with that. I think it doesn't fit punishment doesn't fit the crime necessarily in this case, but it just I don't know all the facts, I don't know all the evidence, so we're gonna have to go with what the NFL says, and eventually I think more evidence will come out eventually about what their investigation did.
I think we'll hear more.
They'll eventually release what their investigation entailed, so we'll eventually get more information. But just looking at this from a football's perspective, he's gonna miss the first 6 games of the season for the Cowboys, and I'm going to go down the opponents here that the Cowboys have in these first 6 games.
Okay.
Their first game against the Giants, who they lost both times against last year. That's huge. Then they have the Broncos against that great defense.
2 great defenses.
At Denver. Mm-hmm. And then they go at Arizona against the Cardinals. Another very good defense. Wow. Then they go against the Rams, who the Rams aren't going to be good this year. Mm-hmm. But what's the strength of their team?
Defense.
Their defense. Specifically, their front 7.
Line,
Their front 7. So then they go against the Packers, and they're going to need a lot of offense in that game because their defense ain't going to stop Aaron Rodgers. And then they go against the 49ers after the bye week. So, you can chalk up an easy one for that one. But, those first 6 games are rough. That's a rough schedule for them to miss Ezekiel Elliott, who's a big part of their offense. Obviously, they have some guys behind him that can step in and play that role, especially with that offensive line that's so good and so dominant. But, Alfred Morris, Darren McFadden, whoever they decide to go with, but it's just not the same with Ezekiel Elliott back there.
Yeah, it completely changes the offense. There's going to be a lot more pressure on Dak Prescott to carry the load without Zeke. And, obviously, you got to go with Roger Goodell, but it just looks bad on him. You look at Deflategate, he kind of went after Tom Brady.
Yep.
Seems like he's kind of doing this with Ezekiel Elliott. And then, obviously, last year he had the Josh Brown case where he was caught with domestic violence and only got a 1-game suspension. What is going on here?
Yeah, that's what happens when you give Roger Goodell absolute power with the NFL and and the suspensions. That's what you get. You get one guy determining who gets suspended and how many games, and it's going to create these type of problems for the NFL and how they look publicly. But again, we're going to get more information about the investigation that went on and what that entails, and the appeal process is still going on with Ezekiel Elliott. So the suspension could potentially go down a few games.
Yeah.
We'll see, but again, this is a huge loss for the Cowboys, I think, going forward into a season where they don't have as much talent on this team as last year's team, especially on the defensive side of the ball. They need that running game to kind of keep that defense off the field, kind of like what we talked about in our preview for the Cowboys. So this is a big loss for them, obviously. They have a couple good backups, but, I mean, it's going to be a tough season, I think, for the Cowboys if the suspension is held up.
Yeah. Well, that's our thoughts on the Ezekiel Elliott suspension. Let us know what you think in the comments below. I was pretty surprised. I woke up and saw that, and this is going to hurt the Cowboy fans a lot, but thank you guys for watching.
Yeah, thanks, guys, and remember, comment in the section below. I mean, this is a great debate to have, I think, so, again, it's up to you guys to keep that comment section going, so.
We'd like to hear what you guys have to say, though, so.
Yeah, but thanks again, guys.
Thank you.